Shalom, Makim, YAHAWASHI, Barakatham. To you brothers out there, I just wanted to do like a little book recommendation and show you a couple things. I know some brothers been asking me what books should they read and what documentaries should they watch. Basically, when you're in this truth, you know, the first thing you want to do is you want to build a foundation in the scriptures. All right? Because if you don't have that foundation in the scriptures, then the books that's out there, they'll trip you up, because a lot of books have what we call bones in them, meaning they have a lot of lies in them and a lot of opinions rather than fact. And when reading a book, you got to remember that books are basically some fact and a lot of assertions and opinions of people. Okay? A book is just another way of communicating with a person, just the same as watching a YouTube video. So you have to remember that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get a good, solid foundation in the understanding and the breakdowns of the scriptures. All right, and once you get that, then you can move on to different books and things like that, and it won't bug you out. If you don't have a good understanding in the scriptures and you move and you start reading a book, you know, it'll bug you. It can bug you out because you won't know what to believe. So I just want to get that disclaimer out before I show these books. And I also want to show one other thing. Matter of fact, I'll show this book first. All right, so today I'm gonna show you some books that you could read just to go into studying and proving that we are Israelites, okay, according to the history and the culture that was developed in West Africa, where we came from before the slave trade, and also in Spain, where we came from before the slave trade. All right, so I just want to show you some books now. Hold on one second. All right, I don't know, but I try to put it up the best way I can. If I can't get it good, then I'll put a picture up. So this right here, in this book right here, called Ibo's Hebrew Exiles from Israel, by Professor O. Elazi. All right, and this is a picture of him right here, if you can see it. All right. In this book right here, it says that, I don't know if I can find it, but it speaks of a coin that the British made in West Africa with the seal of David on it. Okay. Yeah, I can't find it, but I don't think I marked it off. I remember though, it says that that the British, when they came to West Africa in Nigeria, all right, where we were, they put us in slavery. They taught the kids that they were Africans and not Israelites, brainwashed them and took our identity. And then what they did to throw it in our face, years later, they minted a coin with the shield of David on it, which is known to be kind of like an Israelite symbol. Okay, so here's the coin right here. Try to get it on the camera for you. Okay, see that? It says British West Africa, and it has the shield of David on it. All right, and on the back, it says Edwards the 8th. It says Rex et and Imp. It says 1 penny. So this was 1 penny. It was minted in 1936, this actual coin. To show you that the British knew that we were Israelites. Okay? It shows you that the British knew that we were Israelites that came from West Africa in slavery. All right, and this guy speaks of that in this book right here. He tells you that they knew that we were, the British knew that we were Israelites living in West Africa before the slave trade. So that's that book. That's a good book to get. The ISBN number is 978-3067141. So that's that book. That's a good book. And this coin, all you got, if you want a coin like this, I think I paid $12 for this necklace. They have coins for like $5 and $10. The coin I got off of Etsy, ESTY, and I typed in British West Africa coin, and you'll find it. Or you can just go on Google and type it. So that's the first book. Here's another book. It's called Hebrewisms of West Africa by Joseph J. Williams. This is a good book to have. It goes into it goes into the customs that we were keeping in West Africa. Okay? I don't know the ISBN number on this one. I don't know. But that's just called Hebrewisms of West Africa by Joseph J. Williams. Okay? Alright, so the next one is I ain't gonna go into that one yet. This one is a great one. It has information that comes from a so-called European Jew or a fake Jew. Alright, proof, but it's called the Hebrew Heritage of Black Africa. Alright? It's fully documented. It's by Moses Farrar. Alright? Now, this Moses Farrar, he got this information from a so-called white Jew. So the so-called white Jews know that we're the real Israelites. All right, the ISBN number on this is 0965024725. All right. This book right here goes into some of the customs that we were keeping in West Africa that lines up with the scriptures. It goes into some of the migration that we went through, which is we left Israel, we went to we went to North Africa, and some of us was in East Africa, Ethiopia. Some of us was in Europe, up in Spain, and then during the time of the Punic Wars, we left North Africa, Carthage, and places like that. We left Carthage and Ethiopia and went to West Africa, where we settled, and then a white man came and put us in slavery. This goes into that too. All right, this is a great book. If you get any of the books, I would suggest this book and this book be the first two books you get. So that's that. Here's another book. This is a good book too. This book is called The African Origins of Modern Judaism, From Hebrews to Jews, by Jose V. Malchanan or something like that. Malcolm. All right. This book right here goes into a lot of things, man. This is a good book to have. I would suggest that you have this book too. This book goes into the migrations from Israel to Africa, North Africa, and then from North Africa to West Africa. This goes into that migration. This proves that when them fake Jews went over there to Israel, the Egyptian people and the people that lived in the land of Canaan said that they couldn't accept them because they were white, because they left black and they came back white, meaning that they knew the Israelites were black people. This goes into that. This goes into Hannibal being black, and it goes into like some of the first popes being black, and it goes into what is his name? Septimius Severus being an Israelite or black. It goes into Peter and all the Israelites being proven that they were black. And even goes into the anthropology, showing that the anthropologists knew that the Israelites were black. So this is a good book to have if you can get it for cheap. You have to just keep checking Amazon, because they try to sell these books for a lot. So so black people won't buy it. The Israelites won't buy it. Because niggas don't like to read. And niggas don't want to pay a bunch of money for books. Niggas will buy Jordans. So that's a good book to have. You have to keep checking Amazon. Sometimes they pop up for $20. A lot of times they be like $40 and $80 and $100. That's how the white man keep information from us. So that's a good book. This is an excellent book. This book is the interesting narrative of the life of Alunda Equiano or Gustavus Vasa the African. All right. Now, this is not a book necessarily proving that we were Israelites, but it's a self-biography. It's written by this man on the cover, which was an Israelite. I think he was Ibo, if I'm not mistaken. It's his own biography where he talks about how he was kidnapped and taken into slavery. He talks about how the land of West Africa it was rich, and they had fruit, and they had better things than the so-called white man. He talks about the culture, and he likens the culture of West Africa to the people that he read about in the Bible. And then he says that he believes that the one came from the other, meaning that we were Israelites. So that's a good book to read. A lot of people are not going to tell you about this person. All right? I would suggest that every brother, read that book. This is another good book, The Black Holocaust for Beginners. Let me give you the ISBN number for Alunda Equiano. The ISBN number is 978-035-76115-7. All right? That's the ISBN number. The next book is The Black Holocaust for Beginners. All right? The ISBN number for this book is 086-316-1782. Now this book goes in. It talks about the slave trade. Now it doesn't say that we're African. It doesn't say that we're Israelites, but if you read the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28, and then you read this book, when you read this book, the curses will start to pop in your head when you start reading about the slave trade. All right? And a side note, in this book it goes in and it tells you that the white man created kingdoms in West Africa. They popped out of nowhere when the slave trade began because they were created to go and capture slaves. And the white man funded them. All right? He gave them weapons and everything. And those were the Hamites that he founded to go get the Israelites. All right? So that's that book. That's a good book too. All right. Trying to deal with the kingdom of Judah first. Here's another book. I haven't really read it yet, so I don't know. I started reading, but I haven't finished it. It's called The Ancient Black Hebrews and Arabs. All right. The ISBN number is 978-149-033-9221. Like I said, I haven't really read it. I just started reading it. And matter of fact, I don't even think I read this book yet. Yeah, I haven't read it yet. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a good book and things like that. I don't know. But I got it. Here's a book, When I Was a Slave. Memoirs from the Slave Narrative Collection. This is a great book to have. I think you brothers should read this book. This lets you know what Esau did to us, man. The ISBN number is, got two of them. The first ISBN number is 13 978 486 420 707. The other ISBN number is 100 486 420701. All right, this book was like $5. It's a cheap book. It's called When I Was a Slave. All right, Memoirs from the Slave Narrative. It goes in and it tells you a lot of the wicked shit that they was doing to us, man, and how the white man was treating us. All right. I'll tell you, it was this one story. I think it was a woman. The fucking slaves, the slave master would go in. Oh, this is one guy. He said that the slave master would go in and he would beat him, and then he would rape his wife, man. The slave master would rape the slave's wife. He said one day he ran away from the nigga, the cracker. Okay. Another story is another thing they used to do is they used to take the slaves. All right. And they used to whoop them, and then when they done, they put salt and pepper, like cayenne pepper, in their wounds. All right? White man did some wicked shit to us. That's a good book to read dealing with Israel. Every brother should already have this, From Babylon to Timbuktu, by Rudolph R. Windsor. I think that's his name, yeah. And this is a great book. It goes into this actually goes into us being kicked out of Spain and sent to West Africa. And from there we got put into slavery. It goes into some of the customs that we were keeping in West Africa that lines up with the scriptures. Okay, this is a great book to have right here. Every brother should have this book. Okay? That's a book that the elders always, bring out. This goes into the language. All right, the Paleo, what they call Paleo Hebrew. All right, it's called the Ancient Hebrew Language and Alphabet. The ISBN number is 15893953444. All right, and that just goes into the language. I haven't really got deep into it, but, it goes into the language. If I didn't give you the ISBN number for this book, the ISBN number is 0962088110. All right, and real quick, brothers, the ISBN number is basically just a number that you could just type in on either Google or you could type it in on Amazon and it'll pull up the book. It's a number given to that particular book. All right, it's just another way of finding a book other than the title and the author. All right, so another book to get is called The Israelites, and that's one book you can get, but you don't have to get that book. It's not really all that good. Trying to think of any other books. Nature Knows No Color Line. That's a good book to get too. Nature Knows No Color Line. I'm gonna get the dust cover for you. Well, I don't have it, but Nature Knows No Color Line is a good book. Nature Knows No Color Line. All right, so now these two books right here, what I got, this goes into, because a lot of niggas try to say that, what we call the Latin tribes or Native Americans, the people native to the Americans in the islands, the Caribbean islands. A lot of people try to say they're not Israelites and only black men are Israelites and the black man is Israel and all this shit like that. All right, which is a lie, man. Israel does not pertain to a color. I mean, we did have a color, but true, we got mixed up with all the nations. So our colors change. Color doesn't mean shit. It's just a fucking color. It's just the color of your skin. All right, that doesn't mean anything as far as nationality. Nationality deals with the seed, okay, with the sperm, with your father. Okay, that's what nationality deals with. So you got certain people saying that all the Latin Americans or the Native Americans are not Israelites, but they fit under Deuteronomy chapter 28 and their customs. So the first book is called The View of the Hebrews, 1825. All right? It's by Ethan Smith. Okay? And this goes into the customs of the Native Americans and showing that they line up with the scriptures, with the laws in the scriptures. This got so, I never brought this book out because it got too much. It has too much fucking information. Like it's too much. It's too much proof in this book. Alright, so that's one book. The ISBN number is 978-1930-679-610. And then the last book I'm gonna bring out is called The Indian Slave Trade by Alan Galley. Yeah, The Indian Slave Trade, The Rise of the English Empire in the American South, 1670 to 1770. Now, I want to suggest reading this whole book. All right, what you do is just go through certain chapters. And this book shows that if you watch my video on me proving the Native Americans are Israelites, I use this book. And this book shows that the Native Americans were on the slave ships right beside the so-called Negro. All right? A lot of people think it was just black people at the bottom of the ship. You know, going through the Middle Passage, going through from the Caribbean to America and from America to the Caribbean. But that's not the case. It wasn't just Negroes or black people or Judah. There were also Native Americans that were on the slave ship at the bottom with the vomit and filth. Just the same with the black man, so-called black man. There were Native Americans down there, going from America, continental America, to the Caribbean islands. And from the Caribbean islands to America. And then also from America to fucking Europe. Because they was taking them to Europe and putting them in slavery. They was taking them before Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand and putting them in slavery in Europe. Alright, so that's a good book. Alright, so I want to do one other thing. I want to do one other thing before I turn the camera off. And I want to bring a couple scriptures out. I gotta make sure at least I bring one scripture out. Now, when you read these books, brothers, you don't have to read the whole book. Certain books you should read the whole book. Alright, but you don't always have to read the whole book. Like this book, I didn't read this whole book. Mainly what you do is either you go to the table of contents and you look at the chapters. All right. Like chapter 7, like it says part 3, chapter 7, Indians, traders, and reform of the Indian trade. I already know that that's going to be talking about Indians in the slave trade. So I could just go straight there, page 199, and just read that chapter instead of reading the whole entire book. All right. Another thing you do is you go to what you call an index. See that? That's the index. It's in the back of the book. What you do is you look for certain words. Like if you want to prove Israelites is Jews, you might go to the back of the book and look up Jews and check it out. Right there in the back of the book, it says Jews. I don't know if you can see it. All right, right there above my finger, Jews. All right. So that's how you use books. All right. I said I want to get a couple scriptures. Okay, so last book, The Valley of Dry Bones, by Rudolph R. Windsor. I just started reading this book, and I heard the Elder Tahar talk about it. That's why I got it. He said it was a pretty good book, so I got it, and I'm reading it. All right, so like I was saying earlier about these books, the scriptures tell you about going into too many books if you can't handle it. There's nothing wrong with reading books, but you have to have a good foundation first before you read the book, as I was explaining. So I'll go to the book of Sirach. This is Sirach chapter 3 verse 18. It says, chapter 3 verse 21. It says, seek not out things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. All right, meaning you deal with the small things first. Like some of these books, what I showed you. If you built up on the scriptures enough, then you can read some of these books. You don't want to go into books that's too hard for you, like going into like all kind of sciences and shit and just different shit like that. When you're young in the scriptures, you're a young brother, the first thing you want to deal with is the scriptures itself. That's the first book you want to read. And this gives you a foundation so that you know what's true and what's not. All right? The Israelites were black. We know that. The Israelites came to America. We know that, according to the Bible. We know the customs that the Israelites kept, which was, the sacrificial laws and the holy days and the fringes and things like that. We know that. That's a foundation. Okay? So you get you a good foundation first before you read these other books. Because these books have things that they go off. They'll contradict the scriptures. Now, another thing, these books, what you read, these are not to replace the scriptures. They're just something to back up the scriptures. Something to give you a little extra knowledge on speaking on certain subjects. And also, people respect books in this society. So if we could read it out the scriptures that we the Israelites all day. But if we could actually show them, look, I got this book right here. But I got this book right here, and in this book he says that the anthropologist said that the Israelites were black. Or I got this book right here, The Life of Equiano the Slave, and he says that he thought we were the Israelites. People will respect that before they respect the Bible, which is bullshit, but that's just the way the society is. So we just deal with them the way that we have to deal with them. But we already know through the scriptures who we are. So these books are just supplemental. They're just there to help you prove what you're saying out of the scriptures. They're not there to override the scriptures. Okay? You never override the scripture with these books. You use these books to back up what the scriptures is saying. If the book says something other than the scripture, you disregard that. All right? Another thing about these books are, a lot of these books, they have 90% falsehood and 1% truth. You might read a book like this, right? and you read this whole damn, this is why on certain books like this, I don't read the whole fucking book. You might read a book like this. I'll just go to the table of contents and to the index, and I'll look for certain keywords that I want to find. But certain books like this, you might read this whole thick ass book and might only be able to use 1 or 2 lines out of this book. Alright, so these books are supplemental. Alright, so back to Sirach chapter 3 verse 21. It says, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search out the things that are above thy strength. Meaning if you haven't got a good foundation in these scriptures, don't go seeking after them books and reading all that stuff. Just deal with the scriptures first. It says, but what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence. What is commanded you? That you always remember the scriptures. And also it commands you to deal with the small things of the scriptures first. To deal with the milk first. It says, for it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. Alright? Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand. Alright? Meaning that in these small breakdowns in the scriptures, the Most High will break down. The Most High is showing you so much in the small breakdowns. A lot of times you learn the big breakdowns, the heavy breakdowns from the small breakdowns. You might be studying the small breakdown for years. You might study trying to prove that we the Israelites for years. Like me, I've been accumulating these books for years, proving that we was Israelites. And reading those books and then reading the scriptures that say we the Israelites and the curses and things like that. To where that the Most High showed me other things and other revelations. Because I've been studying this one little small subject that you study when you first come in is, how do we know we the Israelites? Alright? So from there, I want to go to another scripture. I want to go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Alright. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12. And a lot of niggas get this shit wrong. But I'm going to read it first. Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 12, verse 12. It says, and further by these, my son, be admonished, means be warned. Of making many books, there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Now, I heard them Egyptian niggas say, oh, well, that means that, this is why I don't like the Hebrews, man, because, you know, when you be in the Hebrews, you know, and they say you can't read books and stuff like that, because that scripture right there says, be admonished of making many books, there's no end, there's weariness of the flesh, and you're not supposed to read no other books. No, that's not the case. It just said be warned, just warning you. Really, it's warning you not to make a bunch of books. And it's warning you not to read a lot of books. You can read books. You're not supposed to read too many of them. Alright, you're not supposed to read all them books if you haven't gotten a foundation in the scriptures. YAHAWASHI told you to get a foundation in the scriptures first. I mean, if anything you involved in, you had to get a foundation. Like if you play basketball, you have to get a foundation in the basics of basketball. You got to know how to dribble the correct way. You got to know how to shoot the correct way. You got to know how to play defense. Before you could do all the, you know, shaking niggas and crossing niggas up, you know what I mean, crossover, shit like that. Before you could do all of that, you had to get the foundation first. If you try to learn how to cross over and go behind your back and spin, you know, and post niggas up, if you try to learn how to do all of that, before you learn how to dribble the ball with your hands, how to dribble with your fingertips and shit like that, you're going to fail at playing basketball. So the scriptures is the same way. You have to get a foundation first before you go into these other books and read these other books. The scripture's not saying don't read other books at all. It's just saying to get a foundation in the basics of the scriptures before you move on to all this. And this shit is a weariness of the flesh. This shit drains you. Reading these books, it drains the shit out of you. Studying any book drains you. So you have to be temperate in your studying. Alright? Otherwise you'll burn yourself out. I think that's it. I think that's it for what I want to say for right now. And Lord willing, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to do videos like this every once in a while, just to show, you know, what kind of books I got, what kind of books I've read to build up the certain knowledge that I have on other subjects. All right, it's good. It's just like, as I said, I can't stress it enough. You have to have the foundation in the scriptures first before you get into these other books. But these other books can help prove your case of the scriptures, man. So they're something to be used too. Don't be scared of that. Alright, so with that, you know, y'all brothers know who I am. Down here in Florida, Orlando. I'm gonna say all praise to YAHAWASHI for giving me the knowledge and the truth so that I can convey it to you brothers. I'm gonna say double honors to my elders, Great Millstone. That's my elders. The way, you know, all these things that I learned, you know, going out researching and buying books and accumulating them and matching them up to the scriptures and having a good foundation in the scripture before I even move to these things, like these other things like books. Learning how to speak, how to be eloquent, how to go into words and understand the words and meaning of words, and all these things that you see that I do and that I speak on, I learned it from my elders, Great Millstone. You know, just go into that real quick. A lot of people don't like the elders, Great Millstone, but you know, the elders, man, coming up under the elders, they taught us a lot of things, man. And one thing they taught us is to be studious and to learn and to research. All right, everything that you see me do, and the brothers around me, like the brothers down here, everything that you see us do, the way that we talk, the way that we act, how we carry ourselves, how we research, how we try to be thorough with our breakdowns, proving every point so that there's no way around it. We get all of that from our elders. Just like a baby learns from his father and his mother, well, we're the same way. We learn from our spiritual parents and the truth, which is the elders at Great Millstone. All right? So, you know, that's why on the videos I always say double honors to the elders. And I tell you that our elders is Great Millstone. All right, so we can't give them brothers enough thanks and, you know, praises for the work that they've done in teaching us how to be men, how to carry ourselves as men with knowledge. And we try to follow that example and convey that same example on you brothers, you young brothers. So, you know, once again, double honors to the elders, Great Millstone. All praise to YAHAWASHI once again. To you younger brothers out there, may the Most High bless you. The ones that's learning and teaching the truth and sincerity. You know, keep pushing His word, keep having faith, keep searching and looking. And, you know, Lord willing, we'll be out of here soon, man. So with that, I say, YAHAWASHI, Barakatham, and Shalom Akim.